Dazza the cameraman. Today is Wednesday, November 16, 2016, and this is a live YouTube hangout, and we have with us Astronomy Live and Mari from WTF Sky, and we will be discussing recent events and the false allegations that have been made against us by various parties and our responses to that, because here we're all about being transparent and answering allegations front on, transparent, publicly, out in the open, so we can discuss these things and get to the truth. Now, there have been a number of allegations made recently, and the thing is that it's very easy to make allegations without actually backing them up with any proof. I can make all sorts of claims about anyone, and if I don't back it up with any sort of evidence or proof, then that's all they are, is allegations. So I'm going to start off by giving you an example of an allegation that I'm going to make against Scott from Nibiru Planet X. And I actually discussed this allegation with him in a recent Skype call, and he denied what I was accusing him of. But then I took it a step further, and I actually provided proof of my allegation. So we're going to use that little example here to show what we're talking about. So just give me a moment while I share my screen, and we're going to take a look at that. And just give me a minute while I sort my screens out here. So welcome along, Astronomy Live and Mari from WTF Sky.
Thanks for hosting.
Fill in while yeah.
Thank you, Dazza. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so we've got this comment here, which I published on my Dazza the Cameraman Facebook page, which is a comment posted by Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016. I'm going to read that comment to you. As you can see, it's all in yelling capitals saying, you know, one day I'm going to rip your Satan heart out and feed it to you, Dave. Don't underestimate me. You stepped into a realm you have never been in. Last warning, step away from me. Trust me, you're not untouchable, mister. Point your bullshit on someone else. We'll call it even. I'm no pushover. I will fight back harder than you will ever imagine. So consider this a peace treaty. If not, well, I'm paying you a visit. Love you, brother, he says. So when I spoke to Scott on Skype recently, I talked to him about this private message that he sent me, and he denied sending it to me. Well, I thought that's very interesting, Scott, because it certainly came from your channel, which he denied. So then I shared my screen with him on Skype, and I took him over to my messages. And here we go. These are my private messages. And you'll see this message here, the same one that I took the screenshot of from Nibiru Planet X 2016. And the interesting thing is that if I hover my cursor over this comment here, you can still see this, I take it?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So I've hovered my cursor over the link to Nibiru Planet X 2016, and we can clearly see that it's the same channel. It currently has 307 videos. It has 32,000 subscribers. So let's take this a step further, and I'm going to click on this link, and it's opening in a new tab. And there it is, Nibiru Planet X 2016. Let's click on his videos. And when it loads, here are all his recent videos for Nibiru Planet X 2016. So I think that that is proof that that comment that I posted the screenshot of did in fact come from Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016. And this is the kind of proof that I'm talking about. It would be all very well for me to make an accusation against Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016 without actually providing any proof. And it seems that this is exactly what one Matthew Rogers has done to Mari from WTF Sky, as he has just posted a video making all sorts of accusations about Mari and claiming that she has messaged and made rather insulting comments to Matthew Rogers' child. So Mari, maybe you'd like to tell us more about that.
Yes, thanks, Dazza, for having me on and giving me a chance to sort of clear my name. Essentially what happened was yesterday I posted a video called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that basically, you know, was showing, Mrs. Red is another YouTube channel. She's done an excellent job finding the footage that he uses and he basically calls this footage like stuff his own. He says he shoots it with his own equipment, his own camera and everything. So, calling him out, laying it on the table, what the facts are, where the source data came from, and whatnot. So, to punch back at me today, he posted a video with a picture of me, essentially saying that I emailed his child and called names or something. I don't know. He's been unable to provide any emails. I'm like, well, provide email proof. Give me some headers. Give me something we can, verify. I'm willing, to back myself up, because I've never emailed him. When I first had my YouTube channel, he used to email me pictures of like satellites, like flying by in the sky from like observatory cameras, and I never really paid attention to his stuff that he used to send me, but I did email him back and forth, maybe like, I don't know, like 7-8 months ago or whatever. But I have never recently had any contact with him, and there's no way I would ever make fun of a child or poke fun at someone so innocent. I'm a mom. I know how innocent children are, and I'm not that kind of person. And I feel like he's really grasping at straws, just to try to pull my name down, because I'm calling him out on his lies. My most recent video basically says right there, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. And I feel this is just the case.
Right. So now I've watched that video by Matthew Rogers and the allegations that he's made against you. I heard his allegations, but I did not see one shred of evidence, documentary evidence, to back up his claims. And this is what is seriously lacking. Now, I will not condone anyone making such attacks on anyone as Matthew Rogers has claimed. If that was certainly the case, I would not be happy about it. But as I say, I've not seen one shred of evidence from Matthew Rogers to actually back up the claim that he's made. I have had the same sort of thing happen to me in the past, where a Facebook person on Facebook had made similar sort of accusations against me, having contacted their daughter. And I responded full on and said, look, I want to get to the bottom of this, because I knew that it wasn't me. I knew that I certainly hadn't done what was being claimed publicly. And so I went on Skype with this person. I went on camera so that I could look them straight in the eye and assure them that it was not me. And as it turned out, to this person's credit, they eventually got to the bottom of it and actually made a public apology to me. They could not prove that it was me, because obviously it wasn't me. And so getting back to Matthew Rogers, this is exactly the same sort of case, that he's making an allegation. Now, I don't know if he is just straight out lying through his teeth, or if maybe somebody is using a false account to try and...
I feel like that's the case, actually.
Right.
I feel like someone I feel like it's Nibiru 2016, quite honestly, right. Because this is the type of topic, this is what he did to Renee Padilla with the whole Facebook scandal and accusations of Renee posting pornography to Scott's alleged daughter, which doesn't even live in the same state as him. So I feel like this is his game. And, I'll give Matthew the benefit of doubt that he's not lying and making this up. But, I'm still going to stand firm and stick up for myself. There's no way I would make fun of a child. I would never make fun of people with disabilities. I'm a Christian. I consider myself a good person. And that's why I'm so offended by all the lies that are floating around in the Planet X community. I try to championship truth. And, I don't know. It's just frustrating for me to see people blatantly lie.
Right. Now, this is why it's so important to actually be able to follow the links, follow the documentary evidence when somebody is making such an allegation. Because with that comment that I posted a screenshot of from Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016, that could have been somebody posing as him under a fake cloned account. And unless I actually followed the links, I wouldn't know that. I've actually seen this happen before as well, with people pretending to be another YouTube account just to try and cause trouble. So this is why it's so important to actually follow the links and actually prove that before you make such an allegation against somebody. It's not the sort of thing I would accuse somebody of unless I had absolute proof. And as we could see from the example that I gave, I actually followed the link right back to Nibiru Planet X 2016. He denied that he made that comment, but I proved to him on Skype that it went right back to his channel.
Yeah, it reminds me also of the email that was flying around from Paul Cox confirming the two suns in the telescope. I don't know if you saw that a while back. someone actually faked a Paul Cox email saying that there was 2 suns in the telescope for the transit that happened this summer.
So this is why it's always important to go back to the source of the information as well. Of course, Paul Cox was being facetious in the live slew video where he was talking about 2 suns, and he's actually posted on his own YouTube channel videos which pretty much make that clear that he was being facetious.
Exactly.
Right, now Astronomy Live, you might like to chime in here on recent events as well.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that started all of this was proof that was posted that Matthew Rogers was not being honest about the source of his material. And I know that his video making the accusations against you, WTF Sky, in reality to a video you did basically parodying his channel on the basis that he was stealing stock footage, or maybe purchasing stock footage, but using stock footage, using other people's images, and claiming that he was taking them and that they showed Nibiru in the sky or what have you. So here's an example. This is a video that, as far as I can tell, no longer exists on his channel. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I typed it in wrong, but there's the YouTube address right here, and I believe if you go to this address, you'll find that it says the video is no longer available. He's taken it down. The reason for this, now I wasn't the one who discovered this, but there was a lot of really good detective work I saw being done on VORTEX, and I wanted to share this with you guys just as an example of one of the videos that he stole and posted on his channel and tried to take credit for. So if we come down here to the video description, he basically tries to take credit for this footage, and he states he lives here in the UK. Just as tripod and lens on his camcorder, tried using different lenses and lighting modes, and after recording, split the footage in double takes to show you all the time lapse to get a feel for the filming. Okay, so he says that the video here is taken of the heavens tonight in Hull near Humber Bridge. So this is all supposed to be in the UK. There's a problem with that. There's a few problems with that, actually. First of all, this right here, this is one of the Magellanic Clouds. This is not something you can see in the UK. You can't even come close to seeing this in the UK. This is something that is well known to Southern Hemisphere observers. It's in the southern celestial sphere. And I'm sure you, Dazza, are quite familiar with these 2 objects here, aren't you?
Absolutely. The large and small Magellanic Clouds are very familiar to people here in New Zealand, and not too far away from the Southern Cross, which features on our national flag.
That's right. And if I'm not mistaken, now I've only been to the Southern Hemisphere once in my life, earlier this year, but it's still fresh in my memory. And I seem to recall, this looks like, this is from in the constellation Centaurus, isn't it? Isn't one of these Alpha Centauri here?
I can't see the cross there, but they certainly look like the 2 pointers pointing to the Southern Cross. In fact, yes, I can. I believe I see the Southern Cross down below, sort of lost in the stars there. If you move your cursor down a little bit, I believe I can see the Southern Cross right above your cursor, right about there.
Mm. Yeah, it's hard for me to tell where the Southern Cross is here, but we could estimate.
No, I tell a lie. Looking at the top there, you've got the dark area, which is referred to as the coal sack, and that is just sitting underneath the 2 stars. The cross is just partway out of view on your image there. We can see 2 of the stars.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. So yeah, it's still somewhat unfamiliar territory to me because I've only been down there once, but I do distinctly recall seeing the 2 pointer stars here, and of course the large Magellanic Cloud. Really fantastic view down there. So if we come over here now, let's zoom out for a second. Let's come over here now to this tab. Oh look, it's the same image, and I mean the same exact image. Let me tab between these again real quick. Same image. If anything, higher quality over here. So what's this say? 3 galaxies and the Elephant Rock. This was filmed in Australia, sure enough, in the Southern Hemisphere. Let's see, this was filmed 6 years ago. Notice the upload date here. The upload date of Matthew's video is November 10th, 2016. Not very long ago at all. And so he's taken this video from Alex Cherney in Australia, and he's basically stolen it, and he's trying to take credit for it, which is kind of foolish because, well, this is a Southern Hemisphere video. This is not something you could see from the UK. And this, these problems aren't limited to just that particular video. This is a recurring theme with his channel. So Mrs. Red, or Mrs. RD, I guess she would like it pronounced Mrs. Red, I assume, it posted this video. When was this? This was posted today, and really fascinating discovery here. So he claimed to have posted another one of these second sun videos, and there's a screenshot of what he posted. Only problem, he didn't film this, and if we come over here, we see that he stole it from Roadie360 in a blog that was about 5 years old. And let me zoom in here. Let's see. Is it showing full screen now?
Yes, it is.
Is this showing properly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So this was a little project that someone was working on. And it says the above clip puts a second sun in the sky. This was a difficult track as there is little reference to track on the horizon. I ended up hand tracking this clip, which was a very tedious process. I did several short clips, 3 to 6 seconds, taking still images and disassembling them in Photoshop and adding the 3D movement in After Effects. And then he gives an example. Koji's best-known work is Virtual JFK, a compelling documentary about what might have happened if JFK had lived, rented on Netflix. Okay, so this was a CGI project, and it was openly stated as such. And, of course, it was stolen by Matthew Rogers and claimed to be proof of 2 suns in the sky. In reality, it's completely fake. So, this is a recurring theme with him. And his response to this, instead of addressing the allegations against him, he's chosen to go on the offensive. I guess his philosophy is something along the lines of the best defense is a good offense. And so now he's making these slanderous claims against Mari, and we don't see any proof of any email that she supposedly sent him, calling names against his son with autism. But people are believing it in droves. And I've received comments on my channel, basically really addressed to Mari, I think, although one of them seemed to be suggesting that he was also now making this accusation against me. I think they were getting me confused with Mari because Mari came onto my channel for Hangouts, and you've been there too, Dave. So, we do Hangouts on all of our channels, and I think somebody was getting confused. But the point is, I'm getting comments too. I mean, that's how bad it's getting. It's overflowing levels of bad, and it's now flowing onto my channel, and I'm seeing, comments that are really intended for Mari, accusing her of these things. And I don't have any reason to, disbelieve her. I stand behind Mari until he shows some proof for his claims, and he's shown absolutely none. And given his history of being very dishonest about these videos he's stealing, I would not be the least bit surprised that he's making all of this up. Now, I can understand the desire to give him the benefit of a doubt that maybe somebody else is sending him these messages pretending to be Mari. That's entirely possible, but I find it very hard right now to give him that benefit of a doubt, based on his history here of stealing footage and claiming it as his own. So I don't know, Mari, if you want to jump back in here before we move on. I do want to mention at some point WSO, but we can get to that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, Miss Red has been putting out some just quality footage. She doesn't have a lot of channels, and I, wanted to put her in the spotlight for bringing attention to these, what he's doing. And he's actually saying that she is putting the watermark on top of these photos, which is impossible because you can actually go to the site and see, where the information is coming from. So he doesn't have a leg to stand on, and his knee-jerk reaction is to just, throw me under the bus, which is the way he's doing it is just vile to me, because he's actually bringing his children into it, like on the video, accusing me of, I don't remember everything, just calling, his son names or whatever. He brings his daughter on. She sounded like she had to have been like 5 or 6 years old. Like, she sounded really young. And he actually brings her into it. The poor innocent child has no idea what she's talking about. Children are so innocent, and they just trust their parents, and, they trust that you'll guide them in the right direction. And here he is exposing her online to just a bad, toxic scene. And then I have the Nibiru channel saying that I'm a bad mom. And he has no idea anything about me or my life or anything. I think Matthew Rogers called me a biker. And just like, there's all kinds of weird, I don't know. It's crazy just how desperate, the level of, how desperate they are. I just can't get over it.
Right. And one thing that really stood out to me Astronomy Live, as you were explaining what was happening with Matthew Rogers and his videos and the images that he was presenting, was that very first video that went back how many years?
I think it went back 5.
5 years.
Let's see here. Actually,
and
something like that. It was quite a few years.
Right, and this sounded so very familiar with what we have just seen, of course, with Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016, and that video that he posted, supposedly showing the tsunami wave arriving in Christchurch, New Zealand, as a result of the earthquake that happened about 2 days ago. Now, of course, it turned out that video was actually recorded back in 2011 or 2010, as I recall, and was a result of magnitude 8.8 earthquake in Chile. So it wasn't even from the Christchurch earthquake the other day. Now, he's tried to justify that by saying, yes, there was a tsunami in New Zealand, and yes, there certainly was a tsunami in New Zealand. But the fact is that we see time and time again where Nibiru Planet X 2016 and also now Matthew Rogers are using old videos and trying to present it as new information. They are exploiting old videos, and they are misrepresenting the facts, and they're lying. As far as the accusations that Matthew Rogers has made against Mari, I've seen absolutely zero proof presented to back up his accusations. But what I have seen is absolute proof that he is a liar and that he's stealing videos from years gone by and presenting them as his own. So if that's the sort of caliber of person that we're dealing with, well, who am I going to trust? Whose word am I going to take? It will certainly be Mari's word every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to correct the record, I'm sorry, it was 6 years ago for the galaxies and the Large Magellanic Cloud and the Milky Way here. This was 6 years ago. The other one that he stole, this was, I think, from 2011 or something. The CGI project here, that was also quite old, I think. But yeah, 6 years for this one. Same as that pilfered tsunami wave hitting Christchurch video that Nibiru Planet channel took and reused. You know, and part of the problem with this, so there's two issues here. One is the fact that they're plagiarizing other people's footage. And I think a lot of people who currently follow these channels can easily get on board with the idea that that's wrong. But they don't necessarily see the second part of that problem. So they'll say, well, of course they should have given proper attribution, but it's still the same information that's in the video, so I still want to get my feed of information from this channel anyway, because it's feeding me videos I want to see. Well, the thing is, not only are they lying to you about where they got the footage, they're also lying to you about what the footage contains. And that's also critical. You're getting disinformation on top of disinformation. So not only are they taking footage like this and not giving proper attribution for it, but they're also being dishonest about what it contains. There is no Nibiru in this video. There's just normal stars and galaxies and all the rest of it. And, you know, the original video never claimed it to contain anything about Nibiru. So they're lying about that. And then you have, you know, instances like this where it's blatantly, openly stated as a CGI project. It was never intended to represent real footage. And again, lying about the contents of that, taking the footage, claiming it's theirs, and not telling you that, oh yeah, this was a CGI project, this is fake. So when somebody is caught lying to you like that time and time again, it behooves you to stop taking their word for it. You know, stop accepting what they're feeding you at face value and start doing some serious investigating. You know, and it becomes the entire channel becomes of questionable value. And so when I hear that, you know, Mari supposedly sent him a nasty email insulting his son in a way that to me seems extremely uncharacteristic, I don't believe it. I don't buy into it. So, you know, as with anyone making a public accusation like that should back it up. One of the comments I saw trying to defend him said that, well, this is really a private matter between him and Mari, and we shouldn't ask for proof. Well, if that's the case, he shouldn't be making public accusations, but he is. So if he's going to make public accusations, he better be prepared to publicly back that up with proof.
He's going to have to legally back it up with proof if he keeps it up with me, honestly, because I have a legal issue, and if he thinks I'm going to, like, bow down and just, like, shut up about it, I'm not. I'll walk my ass to a lawyer and deal with it, you know, legally. And if he doesn't think, you know, I can do it when he's in England, he has another thing coming, because I have every legal right to do so. So he needs to be very careful about slandering me, because slandering, you know, is basically just lying about a person, defamation, and, you know, it's a clear lie. He can't back it up. So he needs to be very careful. And I gave him a time frame of, you know, when I would like to see that video down by. And if I don't, I will take him to the cleaners because I'm super offended. by, you know, his video. He's clearly lied. I haven't lied whatsoever on my channel. You can't, you know, truth prevails, period. So for me, it's just like, I can't even believe these people are getting so, you know, irate over us, like the three of us in particular, saying basically, hey, have some integrity and vet your information. How does that turn into us three being Luciferian government chills? Like, I just don't get it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now, we're actually the ones that always front up with the proof, with the evidence. We're the ones that demonstrate why the videos that these people are presenting are false and lies and disinformation. We back up everything we say with documentary evidence, which is the one thing that is always seriously lacking with these other videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to get on to WSO here and about what he's been stealing?
Oh
Absolutely.
my God. Yeah. Show it away, buddy.
Okay. All right. For the first bit, I just want to show a portion of his video from, I think, yesterday. And so I'm going to have to effectively mute my mic during that. So just let me know, pipe up if you can't hear the audio as I share the video. Just let me know, and I'll try to fix it real quick.
Okay. I'm not hearing anything yet, buddy.
Oh, okay, let me fix that. I'm sorry, it didn't work. I think I can make it work, but I just have to change things here. Okay, can you still hear me? You can still hear me, right? Okay.
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm going to. Okay, I'll back the video up and try that again. I think I figured out what the problem was there. Okay, one more time. Here we go. So give me a second here.
I still can't get over this.
All right, so this next one, these are a person with a telescope looking into the Orion star cluster, near Orion star cluster, and really zooming in on a couple of objects. And they think they captured Nibiru here. Now, I don't know, I'm going to leave it out to the other astronomers across the world that if you also are making observations in and around the Orion star cluster of something that doesn't belong there that looks like this, please send them into WSO at olson.steven.d@gmail.com and use an O in the last, my last name is OLSON. But let us know, guys, because this, I think we're onto something now because our science is getting better. We've had people going to astronomy school, Wayne. We've had people going to ham radio school. We've had people going to planetary science and auditing classes so that they can learn more. We as a community are just learning so fast. It's so cool.
So this is in the Orion constellation, huh?
Yeah, in or near the Orion constellation.
Wow.
And I think she was pointing at this one on the other one.
It. Yeah, look at that.
So, oh, and the person that sent this, if you're watching the video, could you just go through and label these different stars for me and then send it back and then I'll put it up again so people can help you with your search?
Can you magnify that other one?
Oh, the one that I just closed?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the videos you put out about astrometrically, like solving photos and stuff, and you couldn't even do that.
The one that right there, yeah. I want to see that. Look at that. Wow.
Okay, so, all right. I should be back on mic now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so, yeah, wow, indeed.
Unbelievable.
As you pointed out, somebody should tell him about astrometry.net, where he can figure out what all those stars are. But I suppose more importantly than that, we should get to where he got those images from, or where they originally came from. So first up, here is my webcast from October 29th. Just a couple weeks back, I was at the Chiefland Fall Star Party, and I did a couple of webcasts and uploaded some awesome pictures. It was a really nice weekend there. I was there for the final weekend of the star party, taking pictures with my telescope, and uploaded a bunch of pictures that people can see here. So in the video description of my final night at the star party, you have this handy link to Drop Canvas. You go here, and you click on the picture on the right, and oh, looky, does that look familiar? It's the same picture. So this was one of the two pictures they showed. This is Parsemion 3. This is a normal nebula known to be in the constellation Orion. That is true, but it is not Nibiru. It is Parsemion number 3.
Just wait a minute here, Astronomy Live. Let me just get this straight.
Sure.
Are you saying that these images that Steve Olson presented on his show are actually your images?
Yep. That's
Can you
my
believe
baby
it?
right there.
I can't even
Wow.
believe it. It's just outrageous. It really just
Let me
burns my buns, tell you.
let me back that up on his video, and let's just do a quick comparison here, because there is something very very hardcore proof here that this really is my image, not anyone else's who just happened to take a picture of Parsemion 3. See this right here? This is not a star. This is a hot pixel or noise in the camera. This blue pixel. You see this right? Is this coming through in the stream? This blue pixel here?
Yeah, I see that.
In fact, I'm just gonna, for fun here, I'm gonna zoom in on it even more. See that bright blue pixel right there? Now look on his video. There's the same pixel. That's characteristic of that particular photo. That's like a fingerprint of my photo. So not only does it look the same, it literally is the same. So let's go forward here. Here's the other one. This is from a different webcast I did called Google Sky Winged Star Live Webcast. This was from last year, actually. But it had the very sexy title of Winged Star. I'm sure that stood out to whoever stole my image. So, again, in the video description, you can come down to Drop Canvas, and I have the stacked picture. And this is, let me zoom back out for a second. Here we go. So here's the same image. This is the second image they showed. And if we come over here to the video, let's see. Here again, we have a nice hot pixel. And oh dear, look at that. It's the same hot pixel right here. Again, characteristic of my image. Notice how his cuts it off right about here. I can't, let's see, I can scroll over. I'm sorry, it's going to be all the way over on the left side now. But just to give you an idea of the cropping of the photo. So here's my photo. It's cropped at that star there. If I crop it at that star there, you can just see this one hot pixel right here. And that's what he's showing in his video.
Right, so these guys have stolen your images of, and just describe to us again what this object, this apparent winged object is.
Okay, this is GN. Oh shoot, let me go back here. This is GN 05.39.2. Let's see. Here's my webcast. So here we go. And actually, right here, I've got the link to the Simbad page. This is a page with information about the object. This is a database of various astronomical objects. And so you can see here GN 05 Reflection Nebula. And you can see this is the Palomar Sky Survey image, or digitized sky survey image of the Palomar Sky Survey of that object. And actually, I goofed it up there. I moved it out of the view. I moved it out of the view again. Okay, there we go. So, and actually, we can do a query around 2 arc minutes. This will give us other objects around that area, because this is actually the designation for the nebula itself, which, you know, they look like wings coming out of the star. That's actually associated with a T-Tauri star, which is a young pre-main sequence star. And that's, let's see, that's this guy right here. So 2 mass J05 4 ... This is the T-Tauri star. See, it just says right here, T-Tau type star. This is a T-Tauri star. And you can look this up. You can Google this information. T-Tauri stars are young stars that haven't entered their main sequence yet. And they're commonly associated with nebulas because they are young. And in fact, I believe that the nebula in this case really originates from the star itself and jets from the star as it's forming in space. And so it's very common to see these sorts of formations around these kinds of stars. And so if I do a, let's do a quick identifier query here. Parsemion 3 is the other one that they took, and that was another one that I photographed at Chiefland. So here's the DSS on that. This is Parsemion 3. And let's see, let me zoom out here. So, okay, it's a little harder to tell, but it really is the same object that I was showing a moment ago from my Chiefland image here. It's this guy right here. This is Parsemion 3. which is another reflection nebula, and I believe it's also associated with the T-Tauri star. I'm kind of on a kick of photographing these things because they do have some pretty nebulas around them.
Right. Just a couple of quick
so
questions.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Right. So just a couple of quick questions. The Palomar Sky Survey images there, how long ago were they taken?
Which one? The ones in the Palomar Sky Survey or my image?
No, the ones in the Palomar Sky Survey.
Okay, so this would have been taken decades ago. Palomar Sky Survey wrapped up in the 90s or thereabouts, and so this would have been quite an old image. In fact, we can actually, if I grab the coordinates here, we can actually find out the exact date it was taken. And actually, because these were taken on photographic film plates, they were actually taken on multiple photographic film plates. Basically, these were monochromatic plates. They would look like black and white images, but they would take them through. They would take them with different emulsions that were sensitive to different parts of the spectrum. And so they would take a plate that was sensitive to red light, a plate that was sensitive to blue light, and a plate that was sensitive to near infrared light, and combine them to create these color pictures. And so there would be at least 3 plates for any given color picture like that. And we can Google POS plate finder, and it will take us to a site if I can find it. Let's see.
Okay, well, just
while
while
go here and
what I'm getting at with my question is that these Palomar Sky Survey images that we're looking at here were taken decades ago, and you've recently imaged these objects. And can you confirm that they are in exactly the same place as the Palomar Sky Survey images?
Exactly. So here are the dates, ranging depending on which kind of plate you're looking at, and actually it ends up on the corner of the plate, so it's actually on multiple plates, and it's sort of in an overlapping region of plates. But you can see the dates here range from 1992, 1980, 1988, 90, 88, 84, 83. You get the idea, from the 80s to the 90s. And if we come, in fact, let me just extract one of these images so we can use it for comparison purposes. I don't want FITS, I want GIF. Here we go. Let's see if it'll, let me stop this. Cancel that. Let's see, is it going to come up? It might not come up quite so fast. Yeah, let me just do POS DSS. So give me a second here, sorry, and let me just do this the easy way. So this won't give you the dates of the plates, but it'll give you the images potentially a little bit faster. So we just want a GIF image here of those coordinates. Here we go. So here's Parsamian 3, and then if I come over here, we can see my image, and you can see it's in the same place relative to the stars around it. Now my image is rotated about 180 degrees. I wonder if is there a way? I don't know, Dave. Is there a way to quickly rotate this? I don't think there's a way within Google Chrome to rotate this.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shoot. Let me see here. I might be able to. If you'll give me a second, I can load this up into GIMP real quick, and we can do an overlay here like that.
Yep.
Let's see.
So we can see that it's the same image, and it's in the same location relative to the background stars. And the Palomar Sky Survey images go back, as you say, to 1980s, early 90s. So they're decades old. So obviously this object could not be the famed winged planet Nibiru, Planet X. Obviously it is what it's stated to be, a reflection nebula. It is not Planet X.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, we see that these guys are being dishonest. They're even stealing Astronomy Live's images and presenting them as proof of Nibiru Planet X. Now, Astronomy Live, can you go back to one of your videos where you show the links underneath your video, please?
Sure. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just fooling around here in GIMP. I've almost got it going on. Yep. Okay, so here we go.
So what we see here underneath Astronomy Live's video, this is a good example, Google Sky Winged Star Live Webcast. And in the description area, you can see that there are links. Can you just hover there so we can see any links that pop up there? So you can see in the blue that we've got links to the original source files. And this is something that we always do in our videos. We back up our claims with proof to substantiate what we're saying. We don't simply just make a claim. We don't simply post an image and say that this is such and such, and you've got to take our word for it because we're amateur astronomers and so we know best, right? Don't take our word for it. We provide the links so that people can and actually check that information out for themselves. Anybody can do this. This information is available to anyone. But if we look at the video descriptions underneath the the charlatans, the fearmongers, the liars and hoaxers such as Nibiru, Planet X 2016, WSO, Steve Olson, and others, when we look at the video description, we find that there are no links. And we see time and time again that Scott from Nibiru, Planet X, he claims that he's been sent these videos, or he claims he's been sent these images from his subscribers. And time again, we find that those videos or photos have been misappropriated from other websites and used without permission. And he has ended up with copyright strikes because he has misused different videos and images. And again, we saw just yesterday with the tsunami video that it was actually taken 5 years ago. And this is just yet another example of the lies and disinformation that these guys are putting out. And we are the ones that are actually providing the evidence for the truth.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and then they hide like cowards. I mean, they hide like complete cowards when things are brought out to attention, or they'll go on attack mode and, you know, start slandering.
Right.
So it's crazy to me. Like, I think, Dazza, when I woke up this morning, Nibiru 2016 was calling you out. You know, Dazza something, that video. And he was boasting about how many subs, like, email him. Like, he got 2,000 and something emails, and he points to his inbox. Look, got 2,400 emails in my inbox. Well, I'm sorry, I don't check all my emails. And I know what Google, you know, Plus is, or Gmail is, with like sending notifications. It's very easy to rack up email numbers. They mean nothing.
Right.
Like,
now, just on that, I'm glad you mentioned that, Murray. I'm just looking at my YouTube inbox at the moment, and I currently have 28,507 unread email notifications.
Seriously,
now, I could claim
my one email has 30,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, I could claim that I'm receiving 28,507 emails per day, but of course that's not the case, because a lot of those emails are things such as, you know, such and such a channel uploaded a video, or, you know, things that I don't even need to read. Unfortunately, I don't get to read all of the comments on my channel because I simply get too many comments. But I think it's somewhat misleading for Nibiru Planet X 2016 to point to his inbox and use that as an excuse. That's pretty pathetic as far as I'm concerned.
It's just, you know, an ego-driven thing to make himself look and feel like a bigger channel than he is, because I've proven in videos on my channel that he's purchased his subs. He's purchased views. You know, he is pumping his chest trying to be bigger than he is, and, you know, it's going to crumble because you can't build a foundation unless it's built off of truth. And
That's right.
He's struggling, obviously.
Now, I can see Astronomy Live got the images there. He's overlaid them. He's rotated the image, overlaid them, and he is flicking backwards and forwards so that we can see that his image matches the Palomar Sky Survey image that was taken decades ago, and that planetary nebula has not moved one bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, still right where it should be.
Right, so just point out to us, Astronomy Live, which image is yours and which one is the Palomar Sky Survey image?
Right, so the color image here, this is my image. This was taken with my SBIG ST2000 XCM camera on my 8-inch Alex200 Classic. And then the black and white image, this was taken from the Palomar Sky Survey, and this is, you know, the image that's decades old, somewhere between the 80s and the 90s. And as you can see, Central Star are right where they used to be decades ago. They haven't moved, which tells us that it's not an object in our solar system. It would be moving, obviously, in orbit around the sun, if it were, and you would definitely see a huge amount of motion over that kind of time span, even if it were very far away. In addition, an object in our solar system would show parallax, so month to month, it would show a great deal of variation in its position as Earth orbits the sun, and gives us a different perspective of objects in the solar system relative to the background stars, even objects that are very far away. If you look at an ephemeris of even the Voyager probes, which are the most distant man-made objects currently, if you look at predictions of where they're supposed to be in the sky over months, even over a single year, their positions vary quite a bit in terms of the coordinates, and that's because of parallax from Earth's orbit around the sun. Even though the Voyager probes are basically headed out more or less straight away from Earth and out of the solar system, they're still, you know, at about 100 astronomical units away, they still show a large amount of parallax from month to month. And so we would see it moving here relative to the background stars if it were a solar system object, and that is simply not the case.
Right. Now, the other thing that I noticed too is that if somebody was going to argue that this object is coming straight towards us and therefore it hasn't moved against the background stars, well, the first part you've already covered, talking about parallax. I'll just clarify a bit more about that in just a moment. But the other thing that I notice is that the object seems to have changed in size. If anything, it looks a little smaller in your image with the color because we don't see the contrast. But just to add to what Astronomy Live was saying about parallax, just to explain that, we know that it takes 1 year or 365 days for the Earth to make one complete orbit around the Sun. So that means that, for example, right now we're in November. Our position in 6 months' time, we're going to be on the other side of the Sun from where we are now. The distance between the Earth and the Sun is approximately 93 million miles or 150 million kilometers. So we're going to be twice that distance from where we are now in 6 months' time. So we've got twice 93 million, what's that, 186 million miles or 300 million kilometers difference. And as we all know, if you blink your eyes alternatively, as you're holding your finger out in front of you, the position, your apparent position of your finger will change against the background scenery that you're looking at. And this is the same thing that Astronomy Live is talking about when he talks about parallax.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we just don't see that here. If I came back to this object 6 months from now or thereabouts, I could totally do that, photograph it again. It would still be in the same place when it should be showing the maximum amount of parallax. And that is actually exactly what I did with the other objects I showed earlier, GN 05392. I took a picture of it September of last year, and then came back about 6 months later and did another webcast using telescopes on the itelescope.net network, and took a second picture of it and overlaid those two. We did that as a live webcast, and sure enough, in front of God and everyone, it was in the same exact place, in images taken 6 months apart. And so clearly it was not a solar system object. Now, if anyone wants to see that happen here with this object, I would be happy to come back and photograph it again, about 6 months from now. Orion is just starting to get into a good part of the season where it rises at a reasonable hour and reaches an altitude that provides for the ability to photograph dim objects like this before dawn. And as we get further into winter and into early next year, it should still be well positioned for viewing. So we can come back months from now, look at it again, and it will still be there.
Right. Okay, now I think we should probably wrap this up fairly soon so that it's not too long, because we want as many people to watch the Hangout as possible. So I think we should probably just summarize at the stage where things are at. The main point of this Hangout from the start was to address the accusations made by Matthew Rogers against Mari at WTF Sky. He has made false allegations and not provided any evidence to back up those allegations whatsoever. We are transparent here. We are always prepared to front up and face any accusations, and we would certainly host Matthew Rogers here on a live Hangout to discuss his claims. That goes for anyone, including Steve Olson, Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016, Marshall Masters, who I've been waiting now for 2 years and 5 months to front up to me in a live discussion to discuss his claims, and we will front up and face any of these accusations, allegations, front on, and see where the evidence leads. These people have been presenting videos that were filmed 5 years ago and presenting them as current. They've been stealing images, including Astronomy Live's images, and all we see time and time again from these liars, hoaxes, and fearmongers are lies, false information, false videos, lens flares. And as for Nibiru Planet X 2016 and his recent attack video on me, he seems to have forgotten the history of where this all started. We hosted him in a live Hangout, invited him in to present his side of the story. He seemed to be very sincere at the time, and we all went away from that live Hangout feeling very positive about it. And then a few hours later, he was in full-on attack mode, accusing Astronomy Live of being a liar. He told us that he had been in contact with 2 professors of astronomy from the Pittsburgh University. All of this, of course, were lies, which he admitted when he said that he tried to call my bluff. So Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016 has really brought this attention upon himself through his lies and his false accusations, both against Astronomy Live and myself, and now also Mari from WTF Sky. So I make no apologies for the attention that I'm giving Scott at Nibiru Planet X 2016. I believe he deserves it all. And as far as WSO Steve Olson is concerned, he is already on notice, and I fully intend to follow up with some real heat on his channel. Astronomy Live.
Yes, I agree 100% with everything you just said, and I want to reiterate to WTF Sky that we do support her as she faces these false accusations. You know, a lot of people, I think she's saying in the chat, you know, a lot of people do support her. I expect that there will be continued supporters of Matthew Rogers who either don't see the truth or just haven't woken up yet, that will continue to repeat the lies that are being told. But I think WTF Sky and Mari, you need to understand that we do support you. We're here for you, and you know, we'll get through this, all of us, because the truth is, they can't back up false accusations like this because we're telling the truth. So we can back up what we're saying, and they can't back up what they're saying. You notice that you don't see their supporters right now in this hangout. You don't see their supporters in the chat, basically trying to start trouble. I think most of their supporters will see the truth when it's presented to them. I don't think that most of them will continue to cling to these lies. They just have to be exposed to the truth of the matter, which can be a very harsh truth when it first hits you. That the people that you were trusting on YouTube who are now making these accusations, turns out they're not being honest, and the people they're accusing are actually good people. So we'll get through it. And as far as WSO goes, taking my images, I haven't fully decided on a course of action there yet, but I probably will be making changes to how I distribute my images to try to guarantee in the future that they aren't stolen like that, because that is simply unacceptable, particularly the fear-mongering that is being attached to them. And he referred to my images as scary. I forget the exact term he used, but something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, but that they had scary implications. The fact is they don't. The fact is they're just normal young stars and nebulae, and I was proving that with my webcasts. So it's really a shame that they've decided to take those images and be dishonest about what they contain. So that will probably result in changes to how I distribute my images, but I will continue doing live webcasts and providing these pictures for everyone. I just might have to put watermarks on them and some other security measures to make sure that they aren't stolen.
Thank you, Astronomy Live. Mari, would you like to close out on any final comments?
I just want to thank you, Dazza, and Astronomy Live. You know, huge support. I used to be on the other side, and I used to think debunkers were the worst. And eventually, I dug myself out of the rabbit hole, learned the hard way, and I look back, and Astronomy Live is dead on. These people are going to look back, and they're going to be angry that they've been lied to. And, you know, that's where we come in to support the truth. And they'll see eventually. So I just want to thank you guys for the support and believing in me, that I'm not some, you know, jerk that makes fun of disabled children and stuff. I mean, the accusations are off the wall ridiculous, but, you know, I'm humbled by everyone's support. So my heartfelt, just genuine thank you. I'm very humbled by the support, honestly.
Thank you, Mari, and I'm certainly seeing a huge number of comments supporting you in the live chat there. And so thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for your comments in the chat. This is Dazza the cameraman. I've had Astronomy Live and Mari from WTF Sky joining me live, and you can be sure that we will keep you up to date with any further developments. Thank you for watching.
Good night.
Hello YouTube, this is Dazza the cameraman. Today is Wednesday, November 16, 2016. And this is a live YouTube hangout, and we have with us Astronomy Live and Mari from WTF Sky, and we will be discussing recent events and the false allegations that have been made against us by various parties and our responses to that, because here we're all about being transparent and answering allegations front on, transparent, publicly, out in the open, so we can discuss these things and get to the truth. Now, there have been a number of allegations made recently, and the thing is that it's very easy to make allegations without actually backing them up with any proof. I can make all sorts of claims about anyone, and if I don't back it up with any sort of evidence or proof, then that's all they are, is allegations. So I'm going to start off by giving you an example of an allegation that I'm going to make against Scott from Nibiru Planet X. And I actually discussed this allegation with him in a recent Skype call, and he denied what I was accusing him of. But then I took it a step further and I actually provided proof of my allegation. So we're going to use that little example here to show what we're talking about. So just give me a moment while I share my screen, and we're going to take a look at that. And just give me a minute while I sort my screens out here. So welcome along Astronomy Live, and Mari from WTF Sky.
Thanks for hosting.
Fill in while yeah.
Thank you, Dazza. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
I can see it.
Okay, so we've got this comment here, which I published on my Dazza the Cameraman Facebook page, which is a comment posted by Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016. I'm going to read that comment to you. As you can see, it's all in yelling capitals saying, you know, one day I'm going to rip your Satan heart out and feed it to you, Dave. Don't underestimate me. You stepped into a realm you have never been in. Last warning, step away from me. Trust me, you're not untouchable, mister. Point your bullshit on someone else. We'll call it even. I'm no pushover. I will fight back harder than you will ever imagine. So consider this a peace treaty. If not, well, I'm paying you a visit. Love you, brother, he says. So when I spoke to Scott on Skype recently, I talked to him about this private message that he sent me, and he denied sending it to me. Well, I thought that's very interesting, Scott, because it certainly came from your channel, which he denied. So then I shared my screen with him on Skype, and I took him over to my messages. And here we go. These are my private messages. And you'll see this message here, the same one that I took the screenshot of from Nibiru Planet X 2016. And the interesting thing is that if I hover my cursor over this comment here, you can still see this, I take it?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So I've hovered my cursor over the link to Nibiru Planet X 2016, and we can clearly see that it's the same channel. It currently has 307 videos. It has 32,000 subscribers. So let's take this a step further, and I'm going to click on this link, and it's opening in a new tab. And there it is, Nibiru Planet X 2016. Let's click on his videos. And when it loads, here are all his recent videos for Nibiru Planet X 2016. So I think that that is proof that that comment that I posted the screenshot of did in fact come from Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016. And this is the kind of proof that I'm talking about. It would be all very well for me to make an accusation against Scott from Nibiru Planet X 2016 without actually providing any proof. And it seems that this is exactly what one Matthew Rogers has done to Mari from WTF Sky, as he has just posted a video making all sorts of accusations about Mari and claiming that she has messaged and made rather insulting comments to Matthew Rogers' child. So Mari, maybe you'd like to tell us more about that.
Yes, thanks, Dazza, for having me on and giving me a chance to sort of clear my name. Essentially what happened was yesterday I posted a video called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood that basically, you know, was showing Mrs. Red is another YouTube channel. She's done an excellent job finding the footage that he uses, and he basically calls this footage like stuff that his own. He says he shoots it with his own equipment, his own camera and everything. So, you know, calling him out, laying it on the table, what the facts are, where the source data came from, and whatnot. So, you know, to punch back at me today, he posted a video with a picture of me, essentially saying that I emailed his child and called names or something. I don't know. He's been unable to provide any emails. I'm like, well, provide email proof, give me some headers, you know, give me something we can, you know, verify. I'm willing, you know, to back myself up, because I've never emailed him. When I first had my YouTube channel, he used to email me pictures of like satellites like flying by in the sky from like observatory cameras, and I never really you know, paid attention to his stuff that he used to send me, but I did email him back and forth, maybe like I don't know, like 7, 8 months ago or whatever, but I have never, recently had any contact with him, and there's no way I would ever make fun of a child or, poke fun at, someone so innocent. I'm a mom. I know how innocent children are, and, I'm not that kind of person. And I feel like he's really grasping at straws, just to, try to pull my name down because I'm calling him out on his lies. My most recent video basically says right there, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. And I feel this is just the case.
Right. So now I've watched that video by Matthew Rogers and the allegations that he's made against you. I heard his allegations, but I did not see one shred of evidence, documentary evidence, to back up his claims. And this is what is seriously lacking. Now, I will not condone anyone making such attacks on anyone as Matthew Rogers has claimed. If that was certainly the case, I would not be happy about it. But as I say, I've not seen one shred of evidence from Matthew Rogers to actually back up the claim that he's made. I have had the same sort of thing happen to me in the past, where a Facebook person on Facebook had made similar sort of accusations against me, having contacted their daughter. And I responded full on and said, look, I want to get to the bottom of this, because I knew that it wasn't me. I knew that I certainly hadn't done what was being claimed publicly. And so I went on Skype with this person. I went on camera so that I could look them straight in the eye and assure them that it was not me. And as it turned out, to this person's credit, they eventually got to the bottom of it and actually made a public apology to me. They could not prove that it was me because obviously it wasn't me. And so getting back to Matthew Rogers, this is exactly the same sort of case that he's making an allegation. Now, I don't know if he is just straight out